I've recently qualified as a teacher of English as a foreign language and I'd like to find some students. What do I have to do? Now, as a teacher educator and business coach for teachers, this is one of the most common questions I get. So, today we're going to discuss exactly this: how to find students as a newly qualified teacher. But please understand, this is a process that takes time and you won't get rich and famous overnight. All right? So, let's go. The demand for English language skills continues to grow, and as a result, the demand for qualified TEFL teachers has also increased. Now, finding students can be challenging, especially for newly qualified teachers. However, with the rise of the internet and the popularity of online learning, there are now more opportunities than ever to find students online. But first, let's discuss a bit the job market. Now, you might want to find your own students and be a freelancer, or you might get a job. People are going to look at, or people are going to be searching for teachers who have qualifications, because if you have qualifications, certifications, that demonstrates that you have the necessary skills and also the knowledge to teach English as a foreign language. Now, experience. You might have more or less experience. Of course, employers, for example, look for teachers who have experience teaching. Now, this includes classroom experience, tutoring experience, experience teaching online, and it also includes volunteering or practice during your course to qualify as a teacher. Flexibility. Now, the market is global, so employers or students look for teachers who are willing to work flexible hours and adapt to different time zones. And of course, this is going to be a bit trickier for you when you're just starting out, because they're going to know that you need a job, so they might take more or less advantage of this. But again, it's for your own good, because you're going to start teaching, you're going to start gaining that experience, and in time you can choose who you want to work with, the days, the times, and so on and so forth. Now, let's discuss the strategies of finding students online. First and foremost, you should create an online profile, and this profile should showcase your qualifications, your experience, your teaching styles. And there are several platforms you can use to create a profile. You can use LinkedIn, TEFL websites, online teaching marketplaces, but make sure to include professional photo, a clear description of your services, and your contact information, of course. Now, where can you find students? I think the easiest way to find students is to apply to join online teaching platforms. So this is one of the easiest way to find students online, and there are many online platforms that connect students with qualified teachers, and these platforms usually have a large pool of students. They also handle logistics of scheduling or payments. So this is the easiest way to start gaining a bit of experience. Now, payment, not so good, but you do get some experience. Now, what I do as a business coach for teachers is I help them find their own students online without applying to join such online educational platforms, but that process takes a bit, so it's not going to be that easy to find a student the next day after you apply. So there are pros and cons for each of the ways I'm going to discuss today. Now, some of the most popular platforms are italki, and you can create a profile highlighting your qualifications and experience. Students book sessions with you directly through the platform, and they get a commission on each lesson. The same happens with Verbling. They also provide, a virtual classroom and scheduling tools to make it easier for you to connect with students. Preply is another one. Again, students can book directly with you. You can set your own rates. Again, they get a commission for each lesson. And Cambly, for example, with Cambly, you can also get paid per minute of your time. So again, when you want to join those platforms, just go and read a bit about each of them and see which one is better for you. Now, I'm going to link somewhere on this page and all the video I did talking about some of these platforms and how you should be creating that profile, and some tips, to get a bit more money or be seen much faster. Now, something else you could do would be to look for online teaching companies. Many of these companies have strict hiring processes, but they also offer a steady stream of students and a supporting community of fellow teachers. So some of the most popular are VIP Kids, Q Kids, or EF Education First. So you can start finding students tomorrow or in a few days, yeah, if you just apply to join these online platforms or online teaching companies. Now, what I normally do is I work with teachers to help them find their own students. So teachers who are freelancers, solopreneurs, or maybe teachers who want to have like a small language school. And we mostly use social media, and we rely heavily on organic marketing, not paid ads later, but on organic marketing. So using social media would be the second category, let's say. The first step in using social media to find students is to create a strong online presence. So this means creating profiles on relevant social media platforms such as LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and make sure that your profiles are professional. Highlight your qualifications and experience. Of course, you don't have too much experience, but there are several ways to go around this, and you can also get some feedback or reviews from friends or people who've worked with you in another capacity. There are ways of marketing yourself, okay? Don't worry, even if you're just starting out as a newly qualified teacher of English as a foreign language. When you choose, or when I say relevant social media platform, you need to think a bit about the people you'd like to work with, their ages, their needs, the courses that you like to teach, general English, English for specific purposes. Maybe you'd like to prepare for certain exams. So you need to be there where those people are. So you should create a profile on a relevant social media platform, relevant meaning where your ideal client hangs out. So once you have a strong online presence, you can start to reach out to potential students. And one way of doing this is by joining relevant online communities and groups on social media platforms. And on Facebook, there are a lot of groups dedicated to language learning and teaching English as a foreign language. And joining these groups and engaging with the community is going to help you start to build relationships with potential students and showcase your expertise, of course. Another way to find potential students on social media is to use targeted advertising. You can have paid ads on Facebook and Instagram, but we don't normally recommend this when you're just starting out because there is a certain financial investment, okay? So this is for later, not when you're just starting out, but just know this thing exists. When people hear about paid ads and targeting certain groups of people, meaning I am going to directly reach my ideal clients, so they're going to come into my world, people get very excited, but if your messaging is not clear, if you don't understand your ideal client very well, then your marketing might fail and you might lose a lot of money. So that's why normally we recommend to have this strong online presence through organic marketing. What does that mean? Be present everywhere, talk about what you do, showcase your expertise, and help people come to you. A third way of finding students online is to create your own website. You don't particularly need a website, okay? You can have like a Facebook page to present yourself as a professional, or maybe a LinkedIn profile, or nowadays on Facebook you can have a professional profile instead of a personal profile. So there are many things that you can do online instead of actually building your own website. However, I went from £0 a month to £2,000 a month without investing in any tech. I used Facebook, I used Google, I used YouTube, I created my courses, and except for a laptop and a mobile phone, I didn't need anything to start my business. So when I say creating a website, just be open to the fact that it's not just like a presentation, like a website presentation, the normal website you think about. There can also be certain apps, certain pieces of software you can use to get yourself out there and work a bit more professionally. Now, I'm going to be hosting a masterclass very soon on what I did to get from £0 a month to £2,000 a month without investing in a website. And I'm going to guide people through what I did so you can do that too. However, please understand again, it took time, okay? It took me about 6 months to get fully booked and have a waiting list. However, when I started teaching online in 2018, I had been a teacher for 8 years. So I knew very well what I was doing. I had owned a language school, so I knew what I was doing. I just applied everything that I had learned and I applied that online to find students. So my story is not everyone's story. However, with a good mentor, you can get there quite fast. So if you're thinking of having your own website, in this case, you do require some technical skills, but there are plenty of website builders and plenty of tutorials out there. I actually have a free course on Thinkific, which is a bit expensive, but for one course, it can also be free or very cheap. But as I was saying, there are also ways to go around this and not invest too much in the beginning. Now, afterwards, you're going to need to have a nice website a bit later with a home page, an about page, service pages, and the contact page. But don't focus on that too much from the very beginning. And finally, the last thing we're going to discuss today is the power of word of mouth. Now, when you're just starting out, encourage everyone to talk about you and your services, your friends, your family, and of course, your current students. And you can also offer referral discounts or other incentives to encourage them to do so. But know that when you're just starting out, word of mouth is gold. Something I'd like to add here is that normally when you're just starting out, you should be focusing a lot on teaching one-to-one. Because you need to get a bit more experience, you need to understand your clients, you need to understand the needs, you need to practice on someone and improve. What we do is we start with one-to-one, then at one moment we transition to groups, and then there are several ways you can go, but ideally you would start with one-to-one just to get that practice and to see your strengths and weaknesses and so on and so forth. So, in conclusion, social media can be a powerful tool for you, a newly qualified teacher of English as a foreign language. You need to create a strong online presence. You need to join relevant online communities. You can, at one point, target certain students through advertising, but in the beginning, word of mouth is pure gold. So, thank you for listening to this podcast episode today. In our next episode, you're going to meet Rebecca Watson, and she is a branding specialist, and you're going to discuss about personal branding, because, as I was saying, if you want to create a strong online presence and get students, you need to know what you have to do. What, why, and of course, how. Now, surprise, surprise, surprise. If you want to get students online, if you want to create your own course, if you want to create your community, your membership, your program, if you want to create your podcast, blog, book, and so on and so forth, I've created the Badass EDUpreneurs networking membership, and doors are going to open on the 16th of March 2023. You'll be able to join the beta version at a very low price of £37 a month with a minimum commitment of 6 months. And you are going to learn how to build your business from scratch, how to find students, as I was saying, create your programs and your courses. You're going to learn all about tech. You're going to be an empowered entrepreneur, knowing what to do and how to do stuff, and of course, why. And we're also going to talk about terms and conditions, teaching skills, and everything you need to succeed. So if you're interested in that, go to valentinapopescu.com/bedu, BEDU, Badass EDUpreneur, and join the membership.